Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a store card. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey Razorback fans, Matt Jones here. We're all experiencing higher prices on just about everything, and that includes sunrooms, patio covers, and windows. If you've gotten an estimate on any of these projects and you were shocked by the price, then you need to call Sawyers. They've been making quality, affordable products for 35 years. They're local, they have 100% financing, and a beautiful showroom with all their products displayed. So give my buddy Buzz a call or check them out at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of seeing showers, a chance of thunderstorms or high temperatures this afternoon, upper 60s to lower 70s. For the chance of showers and storms tonight, the overnight low will dip down to around 60 degrees and a 50-50 chance of showers on Friday. A high will be in the low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
They were one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning. Oh, it's good to be in the studio today, and it was a little rough to be driving outside in the morning, but it's actually improved quite a bit now. Standing next to Matt Jones, 6 feet away from Matt Jones. I'm right across the table here from Kristen Johnston, Phil Elson, in studio today for halftime. Good morning, guys. Driving on the highways in the rain are one thing, but even when it stops raining, it hasn't stopped raining for your drive, especially when you're around the 18-wheelers kicking up that highway moistness, wettishness, which I guess I'm going to be dealing with most of the day. Got basketball tonight at Bud Walton Arena, Matt. Got a flight to Austin tomorrow. I know you call me like a world traveler every once in a while, really just a regional traveler, and it's going to be some regional travel for basically like the next week and a half. Fort Smith, Fayetteville, Little Rock, Austin, Nashville, Pittsburgh for Thanksgiving for one day, and then Fayetteville for the Battle Line rivalry, and then exhale for a little bit. Be nice.
Man, happy Thursday. Yeah, glad you got up here. Yeah, I won't be traveling that much. I'll be going up Northwest Arkansas for some Thanksgiving stuff, but excited. Got the interweb guy over at the house yesterday, so I can watch the game tonight. So I couldn't watch the last one, but I'll be able to watch the game tonight.
Here we got the girls playing against Little Rock. It's Arkansas and UALR. Once again, Coach Music's team gets back on the court, and yeah, I mean, usually it's been a dominant performance by Arkansas when these teams have met, and I hope I see them win more than anything after a loss against Texas Tech. Yeah, so starting to think a little bit about, is college football the only sport where coaches are openly asked about other jobs that they may actually be playing against during the season? I can't remember other sports where this happens too often. Even in other college sports. I guess it happens every once in a while where, somebody that's graduated from an alma mater of somewhere. I think Roy Williams would have gotten some questions like that, coming out of Kansas, even while he was there. But it doesn't happen as often, certainly not as much as it is right now. You got Drinkwitz and Kiffin yesterday getting questions during the SEC teleconference, Matt, about other jobs. And again, I can't think of another sport where this goes on very much. Petrino gets the same questions, Matt, but it's also a different thing because they're not asking him about another job. They're asking him about the job he's got and whether or not you'll get the interim title taken off about this. It's just such an interesting time. We knew that this was going to happen when all the firings began 2 months ago, and now we're right in the middle of it. And it does feel surreal. I mean, I don't think Missouri's not going to be a playoff team, but they've had a good season. And Ole Miss, that is a playoff team, but still, I don't think there was a single question to Kiffin in the teleconference yesterday that had anything to do with the Egg Bowl next week or his team. It was all about him.
I tend to think, if it was 15 years ago, I think Kiffin would go. The way now I wonder a little bit. In the change of the college landscape of how things are, where Rhett Lashley staying at SMU, Cignetti staying at Indiana. 20 years ago, Phil, that's not how it was going. That's you do good at one of those schools and you now. I mean, Ole Miss is going to pay him just as much as LSU, right? Like I don't know.
It's the expectations for me. Like LSU's expectations.
Well, he's not scared of that though.
Well,
I think us as humans and in the media,
security.
you think, oh, they're not. There's so much out. They're not scared of a challenge like that. Nobody's scared. Oh, I'm gonna go to LSU and fail. That's not even in his. I don't even think that's in his brain.
Right, exactly. I mean, you feel you go to a place that's got a stadium of 63,000 against a place that's bigger and it's got over 100,000 people. And I've heard this point made before, and it's probably true. But let me ask: does a place like LSU recruit itself? Well, yes, it recruits itself. Coaches that have gone on to be utter failures at the next stop. Les Miles, Orgeron hasn't even had another opportunity yet. And that's the interesting thing about this is that he may not even be a head coach. If that's true, if he really is, would just take a defensive line position or a coordinator position. That's a national championship winning coach who I don't even know if he's really going to be considered as a head coach moving forward. They both won titles there. I don't know if you could say that about a lot of other places. Can you? I mean, Nick Saban wants to be rehired by somebody. Is that going to be a problem? No. After the situation at Kansas, Miles would be untouchable. And Orgeron, I mean, the way that it wasn't just that it melted down at LSU 2 years after a national title. It's that he was more interested in other things other than coaching. I guess after a couple years, he just wants to get back in the sport anyway. But it's different there, right? It's a place that recruits itself.
Well, the talent bed. That's the thing. There's a handful of programs in the country that they want to come to your school. LSU, I'll use a basketball. When Coach K was at Duke, when Roy Williams was at North Carolina, when Coach Cal's wherever, when that coach calls you and offers you a scholarship, it doesn't matter what school they're at. It kind of, and then when you put them at a dynamite school, when Lane Kiffin calls you and says, "Hey, we want you to be a part of our program," it doesn't matter. But then you put them at LSU and you're like, oh, yeah. You put them at Duke. You put them at these. And it's like, oh, absolutely. He's not recruiting you to Florida Atlantic. He's not recruiting you he's recruiting you at LSU. It's like 100% you're going to go there.
And so I don't know how close Arkansas was to hiring Kiffin before 2020, Matt. I don't know how close they might have been to getting Eli Drinkwitz. I mean, there are all kinds of stories and what's true and what's not. It's a little difficult to figure out, but I think they were in on both. Might have been close on either or, and, end up not going in that direction for one reason or another. I guess Arkansas might have been in the same position as Ole Miss now. I mean, independent of whether if you'd had that kind of run, if you'd have been a playoff team right now, yes, the Hogs would have been in that same position. These were two coaches that were talked about as a potential Razorback head coach the last time we did this whole thing, Matt, in 2019.
Well, I mean, you think of Steve Sarkisian, you think of Eli Drinkwitz, teams, programs that had that hope. They win some games early, take a loss early, but bounce back and win and still miss. So are you, as a fan, as somebody who's, would you rather just be like, hey, we're 0-8 and there was never really any chance to get your heart crushed? Or would you rather be a fan of the Missouri Tigers and have this program and do your thing and then just miss it by one game, miss it by one play? You play a little better in one game, you win that game, you're in. Same thing with Ole Miss last year. And I think you bring up a very valid point, Phil, that these programs aren't all in just 2025. They're all in again in 2026. They're all again in 2027. They're all in again. You got it. It's a commitment year after year after year. It's not just, hey, we're going to try to do it one time and then we're going to pull back. Nope, they're going to do it again. You got to double down.
But there's still that allure of a Penn State or a Florida, I think in Drinkwitz's case, or an LSU or Florida. Though I don't really know about Florida with Kiffin the more I think of it. Bigger places, bigger stadiums, there's still more prestige. There's still more prestige with those programs no matter what, even though, and look, Pinkel turned Missouri into an SEC caliber program very quickly, but Drinkwitz has gotten it to a place that's maybe even a little bit better, and Ole Miss was nothing like this at any point, even under Hugh Freeze. So this is Kiffin's program, but you can still understand the idea of why you'd want to move to the next thing if it's bigger. And the only thing I can think of here, Matt, now to bring it back to Arkansas is you kind of hope that you're in the same position 5 years from now or 4 years from now, that whomever it is, unless it's Bobby Petrino that's hired, because I think if that's the case, this will be his last job just because of the age. You want to be in this position, but you also want to feel like, you know what, this is a sustainable program and it's marketable enough to the guy that's turned it into the program that it is.
That's why I think out of all the coaches that would stay, you think Lane would stay, even though it's the LSU, so that kind of would make him go. But you think Drinkwitz is 100% gone. Like, I think 100% that dude's going to take one of these jobs. If he's offered the Penn State job or the Florida job, but if he stays, that just, man, what a weird college landscape it is, because that would be Rhett Lashley staying. That would be Signetti staying. That would be more people staying. I think that just changes the whole ballgame. But I think Drink's gone. I think he's got to go.
Or do you think Kiffin's gone?
I would. If I'm Kiffin.
I think there's a certain kind of glory that is attainable at the other place.
I think I'm gone to win a national title. And not only do that, I think he will win a national title if he goes to LSU. You get a little bit better of an athlete. It's a little easier to recruit. I mean, it's, in my opinion, the LSU football job is the number one job in the country. You need a rock star. Lane Kiffin's a rock star.
Here's halftime for a Thursday. It's just a little bit different because Hall of Famer, Emmy Award winner, and fisherman Clay Henry will join us at 12 noon. He was busy yesterday when we usually have him. Dudley Dawson coming up at the bottom of this hour, and then Brett Dolan with us for some Brett Dolan football awards at 1:15. He's finished with his football play-by-play for the regular season on Touchdown Radio. He will, however, get the Texas Bowl, which I'm pretty sure is Big 12 versus SEC, so we'll get a prognostication to see which two teams you may see, because, of course, that's going to be a incredibly exciting football game. And your calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline as we go throughout the show. We'll open it up for you now, 877-377-6963 to get with halftime, and we are right back after this break.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Go all in on luxury with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 box, indulgent. The $7 box, extravagant. And the $9 box, indescribable with the new steak and poblano rolled quesadilla. It's Lux. For less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, and Christian Johnston in the unit. You know what question's coming up here. Since you just played, I think that may be the first ever heavy metal song. It's Helter Skelter. It's the Beatles. Who are the 4 Beatles?
Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
no,
God.
not Led Zeppelin.
You ever have a brain fart?
John
live?
Lennon, I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr.
Very good. Who's singing that song? That's McCartney. That's also called an I Don't Know Pregnant.
That's another thing. I can't
pause.
tell their voices apart.
Well, sooner or later, you're going to need to do that. I thought maybe we would have taught him well enough, Matt Jones. But again, I find that continue to be disappointed. Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You got to do a little work outside the classroom.
I
know,
do.
teachers used to tell us it's like you can be here and you can glean all you can, but when you're on your own, when's the last time you put a Beatles song on when you were just kind of hanging out in your car at your house? Never.
Man.
Once he gets in the car after the show today, because we'll guilt him so much during the commercial breaks or live on the air too. Is that the first ever heavy metal song? Does it come out around? I've seen "Born to Be Wild" also referred to maybe as the first ever. Yeah,
we played that song.
Well, why not? We're a heavy metal.
We've played that one.
We've got our own heavy metal band that you and I are part of together. And
We're-
Kristen Springdale is our
He's a guitar tech, and he's actually a better musician.
I have
than
a
both of us.
sense that he can play real musical instruments, and I can't play one. Not a single instrument. Can you? You? Either one of you guys?
I played the trombone a long time ago, but that's about it.
You could probably. It's like riding a bicycle. It's the same thing. No, I can't do any of that stuff. B says, "Listen to Wings, then you'll know the difference between Lennon and McCartney songs." Okay, you'll be able to tell. No problem. Conversations. What does it mean to have a conversation? All that tells you is that two people exchange words. That's it. Rob Higgins is the athletic director at South Florida, USF. I don't think they like to be known as South Florida. I think they like to be known just as USF. And he's got a long tweet about Alex Golesh's representatives, and I continue to have a lot of great conversations. And that's what Kiffin said he's had with Keith Carter, Matt, the athletic director that hired. I think I don't remember because this may have happened around the same time. Ole Miss lost their AD Bjork to A&M. He's at Ohio State now. I'm a little cloudy on who it was that might have hired Kiffin. I think it's Carter, who was a basketball player there. But that's the thing Kiffin said is that I've seen him twice today. He said we've had a couple of conversations today, and that's the way that he says it, Matt. It's like we had a couple of conversations, friendly conversations. How's your mom? How's your wife? How's your daughter? Tell me about what's going on in your life. Conversations can also be, hey, are you going to be the coach here next week or not? That's also words being exchanged between two people. I don't know if that's the same thing going on here with Golesh and his boss, because a lot of smoke at him at Oklahoma State, at Arkansas too, Matt, and I don't think USF wants to lose him.
Man, I think especially for Arkansas fans, we'll see when Arkansas what they're going to do, but it almost lines up where there's no off season. Like there's the playing part and then there's the talking part, but now there's this coaching search part that is just it's bananas right now. I don't remember since so what is this? We're going on our 4th year that we've been doing, and you've done the radio show, I guess 3 more years or so before, but I don't remember a time with coaching searches ever since we've been doing the show. Like this is unprecedented.
Well, this is the time of the year that you're not starting to kick around whether or not the coach should be the coach next year, but it's really when the conversation kicks into high gear. It did last year at this time. But that was about a 3-year long conversation with Sam. The year after the Outback Bowl. I feel like from that point on, it was one long annual conversation about Sam's job security at Arkansas. But this is when it really kicks much more into high gear. And that's been the conversation about Petrino from the very start, and I want to also just at least make a distinct point about this, because we've had a lot of back and forth with listeners on the text line and on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, whether you call or text. And I don't want to make it seem like I've been putting Petrino down as a coach for why it may come across like I think they might want to go in a different direction. Let's say this. If he is hired as the coach, well, then that's the world that we're going to live in. And I'll cover it from that perspective. And, man, I would hope that it would work out. I really do hope it would work out. And all I've been pointing out in the last few weeks is that there is no guarantee for a return to previous glory, and that I think some of the points, not all of them, but some of the points for why Bobby should be the coach moving forward are flawed, which is about this year's offensive performance more than anything else, Matt.
It's a clown show up there. It's a total circus. I mean, it's really we're the laughing of everything. We're the worst team in the SEC. We don't know what we're doing. It's like we're just like, oh, maybe we'll try this. We don't have a direction. We don't have something up there that's like attainable or sustainable. Like, it's just, all right, whichever way the wind blows, okay, this is what we're going to do now. It's really, to be a Razor, and then we're going to raise ticket prices and not recruit in-state guys and go 0-8. It's like, who is leading this thing up there? Who is the leader? I want to know, who is the leader?
My thought is it's Hunter Yurachek and the people that are on the board of trustees, and whatever money is involved in this, because money goes along with power, which goes along with decision making, and it all feels very cloudy in all of that too. Just like the whole idea of the smoke screen of, are we looking at this coach? Are we looking at that coach? I'm not sure who is 100% in power, or if it's just power sharing. And when was the last time you felt that there was a direction?
We don't have one. It's like dance with the girl that brought you, and sometimes you got to be with a 4 to appreciate a 6, and that's what we're doing. Like, we're just like, we'll take that one, I guess. She's got one arm. She can't speak. It's like, yeah, I guess that's the one. It's like we have no. It's beyond embarrassing how bad it is up there. If you think for the football now, hey, basketball's doing good, but for the football program, you should be ashamed of yourself if you're the leader of this football program and over the last 3 years, how bad it's been.
Was there a program identity before the crash and burn when Bobby was the head coach the first time around? Because it did feel like that to me.
You had a quarterback that was NFL talent, one of the best. So if you just look in the history of Arkansas Razorbacks and you say arm talent, there's not 5 better quarterbacks in the history of Arkansas Razorbacks that had more arm talent than Ryan Mallett. So that helps you win ball games. So he had one of those up there. Then you had a couple guys on defense that could make some plays. You had some in-state receivers you had some playmakers out there that can make some plays. You had guys that were playing on Sundays. We don't have a lot of guys that are playing on Sundays that play up there anymore. And then it's like when the AD comes out and says, well, we don't really want an Arkansas guy. If it is, it's kind of, no, you need somebody who understands the state, what it means to be a Razorback, proud to put that Razorback on the side of your helmet, to make sure you get those guys that can go to LSU and start. Like, that's a bummer, man. You're just get the guy that's going to BYU to play both ways. Like, you start looking, or get the best running back in the state and put him on defense. Like, what running back would want to go to play at Tulsa to be running back? Or, hey, you want to go play Rover or play the hog position on defense and go make plays? Like, yeah, come up and be proud to be a Razorback. It's not like that anymore.
You hit on something that you hit on a lot, and then a lot of listeners text and call in about, which is when they think of a lack of identity for Arkansas football, that the lack of the identity is a lack of Arkansas being identified as Arkansas. Never mind that it says it right there on the jersey and on the helmet and everything, but it does feel like that. It does. And hey, whoever it is going to be now. So when I think of an identity, Matt, I think of, remember we asked a lot of people this question leading into the season about when you think of a Sam Pittman coach team, what do you think of, right? The first thing that you think of. When I think of an identity, nobody could really give us a straight answer because I don't think there was an identity. When I think of identity, I think of this is like line of scrimmage, toughness, speed, physicality.
Not going to get outworked.
That kind of thing. But what you're hitting on here is an identity of the state. That's different. That's a much different thing. And it's like, whoever it is that's coming in next, you feel like you got to at least be able to get that part next.
I mean, we can bring Pelfrey back and watch him call the Hogs. That was fun. Let's get somebody who doesn't even know how to do it. Like embrace, lean into it. Don't say, well, if we get an Arkansas guy, that's a bonus. It's like he doesn't have to be from the state of Arkansas, but he has to understand it in the culture. And Arkansas is a different state than Georgia. It's a different state than Alabama. You know, Arkansas is totally different than some of these bigger states. It's a little more connected. It's now you have Northwest Arkansas and the rest of Arkansas, but all these small towns, man, they even kids that went to Ouachita Baptist, you know what they had? Razorback tattoos on them.
It's at every school in the state.
But not anymore. It's not the same. It's like it's Razorback, they bleed, right? Not anymore, because all the best talent doesn't even come up there to play for the state anymore.
Now, we got Dudley Dawson coming up here in just a moment, and there's lots to talk about with Dudley. Lots to hit on as far as this is concerned, too. So we'll break here and talk with Dudley. Stay with us.
I hope y'all can hear me. I got a helicopter going over my house.
You're loud and clear.
Oh, Lord.
It's Steven
That's
Seagal.
not good timing. I can't hear myself.
This is halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
It's football season, and that means tailgate parties and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's a one split. Why you can't hold me down? I don't want me down. I got to move on. Strong.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Got to go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline here. Time to talk with the one and only Dudley Dawson. New knee and everything. Dudley, I know you gave us an update on the knee last week. Is it still connected properly?
Yeah. I would say it's about a 6-7 out of 10 right now.
Of course, it's a 6-7. Well done. Your grandkids certainly would appreciate that.
Yes.
I heard that Arkansas basketball missed on a couple of recruits yesterday. Tell me what happened, who they are.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to try to butcher their names. I'm a guy who called Yelda Froholt Hiljalti for most of his recruiting period, and his mom and him never corrected me, there for a while. But young man, center from Houston, another one, a forward from Maryland that, Kevin Durant both stayed home or close to home. One went to Houston, one went to Maryland. I guess he's not going to get everybody, but he still has a top 2 class. So he would have had a top 1 if he got those kids. And they still have 3 offers out that kids will who are going to sign this spring. So, I'm sure that he's focusing on recruiting, but also the 8th grade stuff right now. So he's done a really good job, obviously, in this second year of loading up this program inside of it and for the future.
Dudley, talk a little bit about how, we have these young guards that are really just super talented, but what happens when you have guards that don't facilitate, you don't pass the ball, you don't move the ball, and you have a couple guys that are going to get shots? People start standing around. Offense starts getting stagnant. When you get into SEC play, it's not going to work. It's not a recipe for success. Last year's team, even though I like our guards better this year, last year's team they seem to so if I have a good shot but we keep passing the ball, you're going to get an uncontested great shot, and everyone out there can shoot a jump shot. How do they get that mindset? How do you kind of get these freshman guards to buy into that?
Well, everybody on that team was the best player, in their high school, and some of them were, great players in high school. In college before they transferred here. And, they obviously all were the guys who took the last shot and all that. Definitely, I think that you can see that they are not at this point yet going for the better shot. They feel confident they're putting up a shot. But there is a reason that Coach Sutton back in the day had us managers stand around and count to 10. Now, there was no shot clock back then, but he made them pass it 10 times in practice before they'd put up a shot. And sounded like that's what Arkansas is going to do these next few days. So much talent on the team, but it can't be about you. It's got to be about the best shot. And I think they'll get that, corrected as they go along. These are still these freshman guards that you talk about are still only 6 games into their college career. I think between now and the Thursday game with Duke, they're going to do a lot of focusing on that. And they better, because you better get the right shots against Duke, or even as talented as Arkansas is, they'll humble you.
Yeah, well, I know Cal referred to it as 8th grade stuff.
Yeah,
but you really, when's the last time any of these kids were told, you know what, you're going to pass it 5 times before that ball goes up? I would say probably before 8th grade.
Yeah, and I don't even think Coach Music allows 5 times, do they? She gets it and goes.
Got that Mike D'Antoni offense going on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What have you thought watching the women's team in these first few games?
Fun to watch. Obviously, I think they could use a couple of inside players to help them out, even with the style she runs. But I've been surprised at the collection of talent she was able to get in here. It helps when you bring some of your own. But Bonnie Dees, who I think was a Neighbors recruit, has had an outstanding freshman year. I think it's going to be tough for them once they get to the SEC. It is for any SEC team, and so I'm anxious to see what's going to happen there. I guess next week in Nashville, they'll get a chance to play back-to-back games, and I'm anxious to see what's there. But I think she can definitely coach basketball. That's for sure. She has a winning record. She's climbing the levels, as they say. This is going to be a team that I think is going to have the opportunity to sneak into the NCAA tournament, but they're going to have to improve a lot, and probably on defense is a place that they're probably trying to get together the most right now, and it's going to be so important in the SEC action.
Yeah, down on the blocks, and I could see Rodriguez and Clarkson having issues with foul trouble early in SEC games. They're dealing with that now too. But back to front court for the men's team, and I'm getting some Jalen Graham vibes from Malik Ewan right now, and it's not with Graham, maybe with there a back or something with him, but we know with Adu it was more of the foot injury, and then he turned into the guy he was supposed to be in the tournament. I don't know if I got asked what's up with Ewan. I just know he doesn't look like the player you thought you were getting yet.
Yeah, and really he had a couple of their early games, I think, where he played better than he is now, and I'd love to be able to put my finger on it and say what it is. I don't know if it's, not getting amount of time that he thinks or so. Sometimes that goes into it and it becomes a head thing more than a physical thing. But he is a talented player. And, when we looked at this roster and saw all these guys over 6'9" and 6'8", and, some of them positionless and stuff, you knew that their big success was going to be down there on the block. And again, not only offensively, but defensively. That kid from was wearing them out the other night on the block. And, they've got to get better in there. And Pringle had the big basket and then the wrestling match. But, yeah, I think, you really, if this team's going to get to where it wants to go, Ewan's got to be somebody that plays better than he has.
All right, well, it is Texas week. I guess we have to ask a football question because it is football season. I don't really know where to go with it. What do you expect? You think this team would go down there, bring a little effort. Texas maybe. LSU C- type of game as far as LSU played. Maybe Texas doesn't have all their emotions there, or is this an 0-8 team? How do you see this Saturday going?
Well, the easiest thing would be to say it's going to be a 1-score loss. I've actually had a prediction this week of a 2-score loss. I think Texas, who's only had one home game for quite a while now, is going to be thrilled to be back in there. I think Coach Sarkisian was very dynamic yesterday in his plea about I'm staying here and all that. I think they'll come out and play well, and I don't think that bodes well for Arkansas. It's the defense. I think as a whole is getting better. Now, LSU's offense wasn't, the one that'll light it up. Texas's offense should be better. Certainly wasn't in what we thought it would be at the start of the year. I think Arkansas will go down there and play well, but Texas is in position that it still has a lot to play for, and I think Texas will win because they're a better football team. But wouldn't it be a situation? What an Arkansas football team if they won one in Little Rock, one in Fayetteville, and one in Austin this year.
What a scenario you've put forward there for us. Hey, I'll tell you one thing that I noticed last week. Anybody wouldn't have noticed it. He blocked a punt, but he also made 3 other solo tackles. He was on the coach's show last night. Paul Simmons, his son Wyatt, kid looks like a player. True freshman, got out there and looks fast. I know he's going to have some. Maddie's a coach's son. That looks like a building block of the defense in the future. Hopefully, I hope the kid sticks around.
Yeah, I've got a cousin that has played for Harding Academy for the last few years. Also a really good baseball pitcher, but I had the opportunity to see Wyatt play, and I thought he had great instincts. I was surprised he really wasn't getting more run than he had this year because of, let's just say, lack of great play at linebacker. He missed tackles and all, and I think he's got a very bright future, and I expect him to play more this game, and obviously that Texas might try to take advantage of his inexperience, but I'm all for guys to get to the football and get people down, and I think he did a really good job of that last week, and he's done a really good job of that in the limited time he's been able to play, and you're now in a position with these last 2 games, red shirts be damned and all that kind of stuff. If you've got anybody that you need to see play, they need to play in these last 2 ball games because you ain't got no bowl practice for sure.
Hey, with Jimmy Franklin going to Vol Tech, what's your gut? What's your initial? You think Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, or do you think he stays put at Ole Miss?
The longer this goes on, I think he's going to stay at Ole Miss. I think he's comfortable there. I mean, what a wild deal that your family gets on a plane and goes to Florida one day and goes to LSU the next. I mean, he's the ultimate troll guy to me. Would have been fun covering him. I think if he had taken the job, or Jimmy Sexton had let him take the job back in the day. But I think I right now, the more this goes on, I think he's going to stay at Ole Miss, and why not? They're all in money wise, and he's played this well enough that if anything he wanted and doesn't have at Ole Miss right now, he's going to get. And I think if you go to LSU, you got to answer to the governor, I guess. If you go to Florida, you got to answer to Spurrier. He's kind of his own boss in Ole Miss.
But you do answer to Spurrier in Florida.
You still do. That's right.
That's what it is. I've told you, I've seen him hold court at his restaurant. There's nothing like it. And I would imagine if you're the coach, the first place you can have dinner probably got to be Spurrier's.
Lane's not going.
Absolutely.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think Drink goes to Florida. Do you think Drinkowitz goes? Do you think he leaves Missouri? Because it would just be a sign of the times, speaking of a Prince song, if Drink stayed at Missouri, because Rhett stayed at SMU, Signetti stayed at Indiana. 20 years ago, that didn't happen. Those coaches bolted to one of these jobs because they were getting more money. Does Missouri, do they have enough money to keep Drink?
I don't think so. And now obviously they're playing, still building that stadium, and he's still trying to get him things. He's done a great job with his NIL and players. But boy, whether it's Penn State, Florida, LSU, whatever, I think he's in a position right now, maybe the best position he's been in all his life, to really reap the rewards of what he's done coaching. And I think when he's been on a couple of roles here lately in the press conferences, and that's made me wonder if he's not setting the stage to make sure he gets every ounce of money and support he can out of Missouri, or if he's setting the stage to take one of these bigger jobs. And he's in position to do it. Quite a run from down here, just a few blocks away from my house at Springdale High, to where he's at right now.
Dudley, compare for me the investigative practices and how difficult it has to be to determine where a recruit is going to decide to spend the next, I was going to say 4 years, at least 1 year, or staying on the trail of the coaching search for the Arkansas Razorbacks, because it's investigative journalism both ways.
Yeah, I've spent this morning with my podcast talking to the head coach of Cross County, Van Pascal, and he's the head coach of the number one player in the state, or number one ranked player in the state, and Danny Beal, the defensive lineman, who right now is uncommitted, was committed to Oklahoma State, took that commitment away. He's sitting there, Danny Beal is sitting there, just kind of waiting to see what happens like the rest of us, but he wants to know who the Oklahoma State head coach is. He wants to know who the Arkansas coach is going to be, and he wants to know where is Lane Kiffin going to be, because Ole Miss is thought to be the leader in the clubhouse right now because they've got a settled situation. But, it's just think about that. We sit around here and we joke and we wonder, but that kid's future is right there. And, he was going to sign on December 5th. Now he's not so sure. It's just kind of, we got this week and next week, and then everything should start really rolling.
Yeah, that's just wild stuff. All right, we got a break here, Dudley. Always appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and we won't be on the air for Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Hey, same to you, and shout out to my boy Steve in Alaska. You got a listener in Alaska now. So.
Well, hey, never even been to Alaska. How fair is that? Thank you, Dudley. 877-377-6963. Our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Hi, Steve. Need a place to stay the first time I visit Alaska. What do you say? Hey, want to remind you about Valley Family Dental. Used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. Still where they've been all these years. The entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith. It's Doctors Sparkman, Farmer, and Dr. Blaine Van Knight. Always working to make sure their patients have a better life. You'll always leave with a better smile. You'll be more confident and have a comfortable experience every time at Valley Family Dental. 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A. 226-3500, valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. They're offering same-day crowns, and if you tell them you heard about them on ESPN Radio, get $300 off a snore guard. All right, stay with halftime. Back to wrap up hour number one after this.
He just brings that fire, and he's just going to demand the most out of you on every play. You know how to get that energy going. He right there with us, for sure.
This is halftime.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Grit is who you can trust.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back, and it's still bigger and better than any chicken sandwich out there. More chicken strips, more Monterey Jack cheese smothered in buffalo and ranch, all on a 5-inch bun. There's so much crispy, cheesy, saucy goodness, you may find yourself speechless when someone asks what's your favorite part. Not because you can't find the words, just because it's hard to talk when your mouth's full with this much deliciousness. The Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back for a limited time. What a burger.
It's time for the annual 5K Mercy Turkey Run. Join us Thanksgiving morning, Thursday, November 27th, and start your holiday off on the right foot. Every participant receives a medal and t-shirt, and winners take home the pie. Don't forget about the individual and group costume contest. Make sure to register before Wednesday, November 26th at noon to join the fun. Mercy Turkey Run is proudly presented by Cherokee Casino and Hotel and Ware Construction. Bring your family and friends to Do It for the Pie. Register today at mercyhealthfoundation.net/turkey run.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Didn't even realize it's Joe Walsh's birthday. Well done. How old is Joe Walsh today? Do we know?
Joe Walsh. Oh, let's see. Let's see how old he is.
I had not heard that song before, but I knew it was Joe Walsh because nobody really sounds
Are
like
you
Joe
more
Walsh.
surprised that he is still? He's a Bruce Smith. He's. Are you more surprised that he's alive or Keith Richards is alive?
I was going to say, compare the two of them. Who belongs at the top of the drug pyramid for these two artists?
Joe Walsh or Keith Richards? Man, that's a Mount Rushmore. Those two I know are on the list. What do you? Who's the?
Sorry, when you write the song Rocky Mountain Way, I think you're near the top of the pyramid.
Who she's Super Freak guy?
Rick James.
He's on the list too.
He's in his own pyramid.
Okay,
He's got his own Sphinx.
He's got his own mountain. Yeah.
I thought about it yesterday. I watched most of the Eddie Murphy documentary on Netflix. I want to assign this to Unit. Do you know much about Eddie Murphy, Unit?
I mainly know him just for like his,
if you just know him from Shrek,
being funny,
from Dr. Dolittle,
from Bad Boys when he did that
or,
with Will Smith.
Norbit. Is he on Norbit?
He's Norbit. That's right.
Yeah.
No, he's a keystone of comedy all across the country.
He only did Saturday Night Live 1 year.
I think it was more than 1 year. I think it was 2 or 3. But it's the stand-up that really stands out. The term
Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh, Delirious? No,
yeah, both of them.
Delirious took it to a certain level, and I'll admit I watched that when I was 8 or 9. But by then, I also knew George Carlin's 7 Words You Can't Say on Television. This is not a surprise to those who've listened to the show for the last 7 years. But Eddie Murphy Raw took that to a whole other level. I mean, a whole other level. And if you haven't seen either of those, Unit,
That's the Delirious and Raw. That's it.
do you get depressed watching Arkansas football? Is laughter the best medicine?
Yes.
Then you need to be watching Eddie Murphy Delirious if Arkansas loses to Texas, okay? Even if they don't lose to Texas, watch it Saturday night. You'll thank me.
For sure.
It's a guarantee. That's going to be homework this weekend. And that's all because you brought up Rick James. He and Eddie Murphy, this is one of the crazy things about Murphy, because he hung out with Belushi, Robin Williams, Rick James.
Farley.
The guys that defined drug culture amongst the comedians, and he never touched any of it. Any of it. He said he didn't even smoke a joint until he was 30. And he never touched any of this stuff. Doesn't even drink now. And that's probably why he still looks like he's 40-something. and he's in his 60s. Eddie Murphy, absolutely one of the best. And not just because of Beverly Hills Cop. Or if it was Ty, he'd be like, yeah, he was the donkey, right? Yes. Just like Phil Collins sang the song from Tarzan, and that's all he was. All right, we go into hour number 2. Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open, 877-377-6963. Ice cream!
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form, and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is your business's IT infrastructure secure? At Dixie Digital, we provide comprehensive managed IT services to ensure your systems are running smoothly and your data is protected. Combine that with Xerox, Brother, and Epson reliable printers and copiers, and you've got everything you need for success. Call us today at 783-6600 to learn more about our IT services and special offers. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of seeing showers, a chance of thunderstorms or high temperatures this afternoon, upper 60s to lower 70s. The chance of showers and storms tonight, the overnight low will dip down to around 60 degrees and a 50-50 chance of showers on Friday. A high will be in the low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bush Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My hot dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What name of one Razorback? It's vintage Matt Jones. The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right, back on halftime. It's 12:01 in the afternoon. Halftime continues on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, my partner. We've got Unit, Christian Johnston sitting over here. And we will have Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us momentarily. Sounds like he's up there. Clay, you there? How you doing today?
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you.
Good to hear your voice, my friend. We've had a fun first hour today. We missed you yesterday. Usually got you on Wednesdays, but happy to have you on a Thursday.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I wasn't. It's Thursday. I'm not on the radio. Something's wrong.
Well, you can treat this as a Wednesday if you like. Let's see. We kicked around a lot about the coaching search in the last hour. A little bit on Arkansas basketball. Speaking of Arkansas basketball, their next opponent, Jackson State, went out there and gave up 100 again yesterday, over 100 was Auburn. That took them down with 112 points. They beat them by more than a 2-1 margin. So the game you're going to see on Friday at Bud Walton Arena tomorrow night, Arkansas and a Jackson State team that has surrendered over 100 points in 3 of 4 games. And yesterday's 112, Clay, that's not even the most they've given up. Illinois put 113 against them. I think tomorrow may not necessarily, tell you if the Hogs will be back against better opponents.
So are you telling me Jackson State's coming for their check?
Yes, that's right. I was looking at their schedule to begin the season, and this is crazy. I mean, they've already played Illinois, Louisville, and Auburn. That's 3 teams within the top 15.
Some of these teams, they're coming for the check and the game ball. Jackson State's like, we don't really need the game ball.
No,
the winning team gets the game ball.
Yeah, no reason to exchange jerseys or anything. We'll do a handshake line, and then we'll get back and eat our JJs. They get one home game until they start playing against the conference teams, and it's against the team that almost beat the Razorbacks on Tuesday, Winthrop.
I think they're going to take one on the chin there too.
Yeah, probably one. I actually was impressed by Winthrop.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean it's like Winthrop had everything going. I mean they had good inside game. They could shoot it. They played defense. Yeah, that's a solid team. When you see Prosser, that's a good coaching tree, and that guy can coach. And I don't understand exactly why he's at Winthrop, but he's. I don't want to see those guys opposite your name when the NCAA bracket comes out. You don't want to play them.
Yeah, his dad Skip was the longtime coach at Wake Forest.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
terrific
guy too.
Coach.
To me, that must have been how. Cal's from there and everything. You wonder how these contracts get signed sometimes. Maybe that was one way, because I guarantee you that Cal had some relationship with his dad. Had to have.
Well, yeah, that would make sense. But the other part of it is he's not scared to play anybody. It's like you say, this is a team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament. Bring them on. That's what we want for our team. And I'm glad to see this. And it's, Samford wasn't a bad team either. And they've got a young team that needs these type of games, as many as you can get them. And that's the good sign.
It's funny because you're going into what's called Cupcake Week for the SEC. Alabama and Auburn get cupcakes before they got to play each other. And Arkansas gets a cupcake before they have to play against Duke on Thanksgiving. So I guess these things do kind of go together. You don't want to play – because once you get into the SEC, I mean, you get one heavyweight after another in some cases. So
you're right.
You don't want to do that to yourself I still want to call it the preseason, even though it's not a preseason. It's still a part of the real season. Yeah, you're not going to stack up. So it's like you look at Michigan. Michigan's already played 2 out of the SEC, beaten them both in Kentucky and Arkansas. I think they get Duke.
Michigan State.
Yeah, I think they get North Carolina too. And I mean, like Arkansas gets the same thing. But who are you playing before you play Houston? Queens. You're playing Queens. Who are you playing before Texas Tech? Well, you're playing Fresno State. Well, at least you get Duke before Louisville, but it's almost a week apart.
I'm excited for all these games. I mean, it's like, and don't we have one on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Duke. That's the Duke game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If I don't travel for basketball, but I might travel for that game. in that setting, in that situation.
Well, in
you know.
Chicago, in
Yeah.
the United Center. Where was the game last year on Thanksgiving? Because they played Thanksgiving too, and it was like the highest rated regular season game of the entire season. I think.
Well, wasn't it Madison Square Garden?
That's right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It ought to
That was Michigan, wasn't it? That they played there.
Yeah, Boogie won that game.
Boogie showed out. Yeah.
How long did it take? Did you ever feel like Boogie got his feet under him last year? I mean, there was also an injury, I think, if I remember, by the end of the season.
And it's kind of interesting that you bring that up, because I was talking after the season was over. Well, no, it wasn't over. I called Sidney Moncrief. I think I was writing a story about Robert Burden passing. Seemed like I've done a lot of those type stories lately. And I was talking to Sidney. I said, hey, they're going to get Boogie back. It might help their defense. And Sidney was like, he won't help their defense. He didn't play defense before he got hurt. I don't know what makes you think he's going to play defense now. But I think that's the deal with all these young players, is that they think they know how to play defense, but the physicality and the nature of what this game is compared to what they played with in AAU is totally different. But as far as Boogie, no, I don't think he ever did get his feet under. And when he came back, you could tell he didn't have his shot yet, from the thumb injury.
You can see what you're saying, too, with Thomas and Acuff defensively.
Exactly.
Sometimes. They get lost occasionally, but then you can see moments where, man, they're really good at keeping the ball in front of them. They can slide just as quickly as anybody else.
The athletic ability is there, but it's, how do you play screens? How do you play the pick and roll? How what do you turn your head and your man gets a backdoor layup? And that happened in the last game a couple of times. It's happened in both the last two games. So they have to do a little better job, and that's what they're working on. But it's just not, you just don't snap your fingers and say you're there defensively. And that's one of the reasons that Eddie Sutton seldom played a freshman much. They just about had to be superstars to play as freshmen, because their defensive play was a liability, because they just don't know. I mean, it's not something that, like you say, snap your fingers and you got it. They will be totally different a month from now, defensively.
You find, Matt, that a basketball team progresses slower defensively as a team than offensively?
No, it's all situational. When you have freshmen that are coming from high school, they never had to guard the team. And your Clay's right. When it just comes to staying with your guy when he has the ball, they can play defense because they're athletes, but they don't talk enough. Whenever their guy passes the ball, it's like they relax a little bit. And you can't take a possession off defense. You got to stay in between the ball, in between the man, and in between the hoop. Like it's like it's a geometry equation every time. Yeah, you have to know where to be, because what you're trying to do is almost an inside out type of thing. You keep everything in front of you, and then it's, what does Coach Cal want him to do? I don't know. I haven't been in his meetings, Clay. Maybe but a lot of times it's, do we turn him to the short corner and let that sideline help us, or do we turn him back into the help where our teammates are? There's kind of two different thoughts there, and you can do both ways. I don't know what Coach Cal has them doing, but because usually you kind of hone in on one way.
Yeah, and what you're saying goes along with, okay, my man just gave up the ball. Well, he's the best shooter. How tight do I need to play on him? Well, tight enough, but you still can't give up a back door. So there's the yin and yang to playing defense. And, it looked like you see young players, they don't understand that there's a guy on the other team that can go off for 30, that if you ignore him. And that's what that Rozier guy was. He could go for 30 if you don't guard him. I mean, a Pat Bradley or, somebody like that. It's like, well, he plays for Winthrop. He never heard of him before, but these teams, they got a guy that can go for 30, and it takes knowing where he is all the time, not just you on your man, but your teammates. That guy can't shoot
bumping him. So the freshman guy, let's say he does pass, bump him. Don't let him. It's kind of like if you're a D-back letting a receiver go free release. That's no good. That you can't let the receiver. So whenever just let him know you're there and contact, be physical. And for young guards, it's hard. Basketball players are more finesse. When I went to the basketball team when I was a freshman, and then again my junior year, I was one of the just toughest guys because you're a football player. Basketball players just naturally, and I don't want to say they're soft, but they're more finesse. It's like they don't want you touching them. They don't want you kind of bang. Most of them. Now Pringle will put his elbow on you. He'll bang. But Brazil doesn't want any part of any type of physical play, and a lot of these guards the same way.
So those are two experienced players there, and I want to ask two questions off of this. One, is part of this also figuring out what you can get away with physically? How much little contact are they going to let you get away with in your first month of playing big-time college basketball? And two, how much of it do you feel that you're coaching effort at this point as well? Because I would think defensive effort here is a heck of a lot different than defensive effort where they were playing previously.
I don't have a problem, Clay, with their effort. I think the effort's there. I think the want to's there. I just think it's the knowledge. And I think that's how Coach Cal's coaching them. He's like, he's going to go back. They're going to watch that tape. They're going to see plays that they left out there. And then you're going to see like, hey, man, everybody, when you play in the SEC, everybody, just to your point, they might even have two guys that can go off for 30 if you don't mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah, I think that's right. As far as effort, I see one guy that I would like to turn it up a little bit, and that's Malik Hewen. And he's got to rebound, and if he doesn't, he's not going to get on the court. And I've saw a lot of lineups in preseason, from fans. I like this group together. I like that group, and I kept seeing Hewen ahead of Pringle, for the starting spot. That isn't going to happen for any time soon. He's going to have to really, really show something to pass Pringle in my eyes. I mean, it looks like every time he goes out there, he's flat-footed when the ball goes up. I mean, you got to step to it. And I haven't seen that yet from him. And I think he envisions himself as a scorer. Well, that's not exactly what this team needs from him. They need defense and rebounding around the basket because he's one of those guys. He's 6'10" and a half.
But doesn't that have to be communicated in the recruiting process? I mean, the kind of team that you're putting together.
Well, he rebounded at a different level at Florida State than he has here. And he had 17 rebounds against LSU. That's deciding you want to go get every ball. And he does not look like that now, and I don't know why it is. But he averaged 7.6 rebounds last year at Florida State, and that's in the ACC, and that's not chopped liver. I don't know that the ACC was quite as good as the SEC last year. The winter, the December results would say it wasn't, but he doesn't look like the same player from the clips that I saw. I don't know if he's battled through some little injury that we don't know about, but they didn't get what they paid for. Let's put it that way.
And sometimes you're thinking, and you're going to come in and you're going to get 28 minutes a game, and then you find out, I got to work my tail off if I want to get 20. There's a lot more. So and sometimes players, they're all not the same. They're all alphas, but sometimes mentally, he could shut down a little bit. It could be like, man, this is tougher than what I thought. And so he has one or two ways. Either he kind of sulks and kind of just goes about it, or he's the first one in the gym. He's watching film. He's the last one to lead. Like, you start doing the little things like that, I'll think he'll see his playing time increase. And one of the best coaches I've ever been around, and I was only around him for a handful of months, is Nolan Richardson. And whoever was practicing the best, I remember Mike Jones didn't play for 2 games in a row. Something lit a fire under him. All of a sudden, he had one of his best weeks of practice, goes out there and scores like 22. Like it's like whoa, and he got to play a lot. And now he didn't sustain it, but Coach Richardson was really good at recognizing guys that when they had a good week of practice, he's going to reward them and give them a little more playing time.
Yeah, and the physical nature, and you didn't get to play with Corey Beck, but you want to talk about somebody that's going to make sure that his guy knows I'm a little more physical. I'm a little tougher.
Hey, we had those.
I'm a little
tackling
meaner.
dummies, Clay. Nolan had those. You know the arm shields that you
Yeah.
get in football. We had those at basketball practice during the season doing drills. So they were physical. I 100% agree.
Where did he place those? In the lanes? That how to finish?
Yeah, no, you were going to do a charge drill. This is during the season. These are sometimes you do these during camp, but during the season there was a charge drill. You're going to go up. He's going to hammer you with one of those pads so you can get through finishing with contact.
Did the coaches have the pads? Was Brad Dunn and Mike Anderson putting the pads on you?
Yeah, you would have some of those guys. I want to say Darren Sorensen was there. There was a handful of guys that would get you.
They'd slam you too, right?
Yeah, they would pop you.
You better put a football helmet on. Were you playing basketball at that point too?
Hey, I know this. The hardest I've ever been hit was jumping up and then falling on that hardwood. It doesn't give like the grass field does. And you fall on the turf, on the grass. It does. You fall on that hardwood on your elbow, man. That doesn't feel good.
Man, I've seen a tooth get lodged in that hardwood before. Just kind of makes me cringe thinking about it. Hey, it won't going to make you cringe if you got a Umbrella Flash Mob Junior with you and you're doing some cold water bass fishing. How's that for a little segue for you? It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad. Work it from the top of the water column to the bottom. Doesn't matter if you're trying to win a bass tournament. Whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers. It's the Umbrella Flash Mob Junior. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro, LearnNet, and tackle stores all over the place. Halftime's right back after this break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the Hawes standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Go all in on luxury with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 box, indulgent. The $7 box, extravagant. And the $9 box, indescribable with the new Steak and Poblano rolled quesadilla. It's Lux. For less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's where bettors win together because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they love the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
That I picked up on the roadside. You know, I've been on a long way back home, hanging at the open window, taking it slow.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry, too, and was just talking about some of the practices that Matt was involved in with Coach Richardson. Were those the hardest practices that you were involved in? Just talking off the air too, it sounds like nothing could keep you in shape like a Nolan Richardson practice.
That's the one thing, and it's real. It's one of the things that kind of breaks my heart about this football team when Pittman was here, because from my dad being my coach and from junior high to high school to coming up with Coach Nutt to going to coach. Practice was always tough, man. You were gonna be in shape. One of the mantras all the coaches had was one of the things we're not going to do is get outworked. Every single year Coach Pittman was here, we got outworked in a game. We weren't prepared for the heat. We weren't ready. That was not a thing. And maybe Bobby might have that about him. Maybe that he has that attribute about him where his teams aren't going to get outworked. They might have more talent than us. That was the thing. Coach Nutt, hey, look, LSU has 5 stars up and down. Alabama, we went 2-2 against Alabama. Alabama has 5 stars up and down, but we're not going to get outworked. We're going to be ready mentally. We're going to be attention to detail. The last thing that's going to happen is you're not going to have any gas in the fourth quarter. What you're going to do is get stronger. Coach Richardson, man, I used to love some of his practices because we'd divide up to 5-on-5-on-5. So there's 3 groups, and you go to 7. So it'd be 5-on-5 going. Winner stays on the court, and then he'd stop it when there's a teaching moment. But it's just let's go. And then you get to a game, and there's a timeout every 4 minutes. It's like, oh my goodness, like it's so much easier.
Thanks for the oxygen. Yeah. Would that be so? 2 games left in the football season. If you were worried about the team being in proper shape back in the Memphis game, all I'm saying now is I know it's too late. That's my point. Would that be something that you'd be worried about for these last 2 weeks, that maybe you're playing 2 teams that could be in potentially better season-long shape? Because you got 2 games left.
Well, this is the point in the season that you know you're in shape and you take it off of them. And I think Nolan was really good at that too. Late in the season, and you know, you played for Houston Nutt. I think he was the same way. You get to a certain point, you have confidence that your team is in shape and they're battle-tested, and your practices become a little shorter. Not easier, but they are shorter. And I saw that with Nolan and with Houston Nutt, your 2 coaches, Matt. The really interesting part about Nolan as a coach is that he really wanted to be a football coach. That was. He played football, he played baseball, and then, became a great golfer too, left-handed golfer. He could hit it a mile and great putting touch, just incredible all-around athlete. But he thought he was going to be a football coach, and he was a head junior high coach in El Paso. And the athletic director says, you probably have a better chance at moving up to be the head coach for the basketball team than the football team, because we're probably not going to promote a black head football coach in football in Texas. And Nolan at first was upset about that. Then he thought, well, he's telling me the truth. Why don't I listen and, just adjust to it? And so he decided basketball was going to be his sport as far as coach. But he loved to coach football, and his practices in basketball sometimes mirror what he would have done if he was the football coach. By the way, he said his favorite pass, he said he always went for it on fourth down, no matter what, and his favorite play was the jump pass. And he says, my quarterback
pop right there.
Yeah, and he goes, my quarterbacks were Mexican. They were about 5'6", and he says to complete it to the tight end, it had to be a jump pass.
There's no way he could recruit his way out of that.
Some of my conversations with Nolan are just wonderful, priceless through the years. And it covers, before he came to Arkansas, I covered him as head coach at Tulsa. And just there's no one that I loved sitting and talking to more than Nolan.
Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Brent's in Kentucky. Good afternoon, Brent. Thanks for calling. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hi, Clay, Phil, and Matt.
Hello.
Hello.
Listening to this toughness and what y'all are talking about, after 33 years in the military, I can tell you that our emphasis always was train hard in training, and it makes it easy in battle. And I'm really impressed with the resiliency of this team. One thing I've observed over time is that when you're getting your brains beat in and things are going bad, adversity either cracks a unit or a team and the people in it, or it brings them closer together. And I'm just impressed in how this team continues to fight. I don't like them losing. I hate it. But I'm impressed how they're sticking together, and I keep waiting for them to let go of the rope, but they don't seem to be letting go of the rope. I'm impressed.
We're talking about football, right? Yeah.
Hey,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, you have that right. I mean, the effort's there. I mean, and I know Coach Petrino was talking about it yesterday, and how it gets more difficult week after week to put together what you think is a good game plan. The guys are practicing hard. They're listening to. They're coming in with a great attitude. At least that's the way that he's portrayed it. And I'm not there questioning anything about effort on Saturdays, and then to lose, each week in a familiar manner, and then try to do it all over again the next week. I mean, I think it's difficult for some people to say it's impressive, though. But I'm impressed watching them just go at it every single week, nose to the grindstone, even though it hasn't led to what you want.
Yeah, I think the right term probably is that I respect that. I'm not sure I'm impressed with it, but I do respect that their stick-to-itiveness and their care for each other, and that they want to.
You got to get one, right, Clay? Like, you don't, as a competitor, as a player, you don't want to go over. Like, we got to get one.
I remember.
Hey, you don't want me just fine if it's this week.
It's also
my goodness!
If
you could choose one, this would be the week.
Please, no kidding, man. This would be the week. I know what it's like to go into a season on a losing streak too. Remember when Arkansas baseball lost their last 16 in 2016?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long off season, longer than usual at that point. Brent?
Well, Phil, you know about streaks in baseball, and Matt, you know what the locker room looks like. Clay, you know the history. But I fully expect that these young men will hold their head high, walk out of this. They'll be tighter and closer and have a legacy after this. One that we might not respect so much, but I'll say I respect it like Clay says. Maybe impressed is too much, but watching people struggle and go through adversity it can build something special. And I hope that happens for all these young men as I go forward in the future.
Brent, thank you for your phone call. Good to hear from you, man.
I think that's when you say why you would like your son or daughter to play team sports. You'd like for them to taste success, but the idea that they would taste failure and come out of it a better person, and I've heard Bobby talk about it. It says that you're gonna face failure in business and in job and raising families. You're gonna taste it. That's just what life is, and that they're prepared for that with what they've gone through this year, and in some respect, some of the previous years. But it's like, this is certainly a new team. It's not. There's so much newness to it, and that's part of the problem. And it's not just Arkansas, but when you see some of these teams not play well or have problems, and you think, well, they've been thrown together, and we don't understand that okay, you've had time to coach them, but it's still, there's just not enough hours or minutes in the day to cover everything. You would like to build up to that over a 4 or 5 year period that you've had a guy in your program. Well, that's not the way it is anymore.
877-377-6963 to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Got another number for you. It's for the Fence Man if you're looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong. The Fence Man has served Fort Smith and our listening audience for over 40 years with custom one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, high security, also automatic gates, 18-month financing. Find that at The Fence Man, 479-782-3936 or thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. Back in a moment. This is halftime.
For the second week in a row, our guys competed hard, but that's not what we're out there to try to do. We're out there to try to win.
This is halftime.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
He's either going to succeed or he's going to fall on his face, and hopefully this next time when he falls, he doesn't have to have a neck brace.
This is halftime.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com. Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanAR.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Spooked by the thought of a custody battle with your ex? Get the chills thinking about high hourly billing from another lawyer? Don't hide in the dark. Call me, Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Divorce and custody can be scary. You need an attorney who can help at a price you can afford. At Mock Legal Solutions, we offer flat fees and payment plans. Call today. The first consultation is always free. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
This is Rick Bennett, Director of Portsmouth Animal Haven. For all of our heating, air, and plumbing needs, we dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know, 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
With winter just around the corner, now's the time to make sure your equipment is ready to handle the cold, the snow, and everything in between. Whether you're planning preventative maintenance, gearing up for snow removal, or keeping your fleet running through harsh conditions, Sharp Equipment is here to help you stay ahead. If you've got winter projects coming up, let Sharp Equipment know what parts you'll need. Sharp Equipment can help you avoid downtime and keep your operations moving no matter the weather. Give Sharp Equipment a call at 479-649-0500 or stop by at 3918 Pointer Trail East in Van Buren to see how Sharp Equipment can help you keep moving forward.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Man. Days. Man. Wait. Man.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us, taking you up to 2 o'clock today here on ESPN Arkansas. We're going to go right to our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Got a couple people on hold. Here is the tuna. Charlie, good afternoon. Charlie is not there, so we'll try Jacob in Farmington instead. Jacob, how are you today?
Hey, doing good, Phil. How are you guys?
Great. Thanks a lot for calling.
Hey, so as you guys are kind of looking at the coaching search and everything, and I'm kind of more of a up-and-comer AAC guy myself. But what's kind of the expectation you guys have in terms of whoever it be, in terms of, approaching, recruiting for the next cycle, approaches in the portal, preparation and stuff in the spring, the fall, and just kind of what you want to see in preparation for the next season? And I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to need all of it, really. You're going to need to be hitting that portal immediately. As fast as you can, right? I mean, that's the way you're going to be building this next team. And I guess you also want to do your best of keeping the good players on this team that have eligibility here.
That's where I was going to go. The first thing is that he has to evaluate his team and what's savable, what's salvageable, what's here that you want, and what do you not want. Because there's going to be a huge roster turnover. And part of it you don't have any control over. You can offer whatever you want, and they can go find something better or something that they think. I heard Dabo Sweeney explain the portal pretty well. And he says there's 3 areas to it. And he says there's the guys that aren't any good, and you're hoping that they leave. And then just realize that the portal, just by its nature, is full of players that you don't want because they're cast-offs from other teams. So just because they're in the portal doesn't mean you want them. So you have to evaluate that. fool's gold is somebody in the portal, and it's like the other team wants you to take that player because then they've got a scholarship and they don't feel bad about cutting them. And then the next area is guys on your team that, they're going to leave no matter what. And they've already got their offer from someplace else. So there's guys on this team that have already, through an agent, through an intermediary, has found another destination. And there's nothing you can do to change that. And then, then the third area is guys that are in the portal that are good players, and you have to go get them, and it's going to be expensive.
But also because the portal opens a month later, you can focus.
It's not just it. You may think it opens a month later, but it's open now.
It's understood. The conversation still happened, but
you
can't officially go somewhere. I guess that what I'm trying to say is that at least should leave you some opportunity and
some wiggle
time
room
to focus on the guys that are on the team that you want to stay here. And that's what I was going to lead to. Like who do you want to stick around?
I'm sorry, I cut you off, Phil.
Well, I'm watching. So I listened last night. Wyatt Simmons, and I've seen him play really one game that he has stood out, and I think that's the one game that he's really been out there at linebacker a little bit more often on the inside, and it really looks like there's something to build off of there. Now, Matt, admittedly, you make a point. LSU's playing their C- game. I still think the kid played a great game. That's a guy that I'd want to stay here. Braylon Russell's another one. C.J. Brown's another one. I guess it's like these are all Arkansas kids, so you'd expect they would because they're, some of the few that chose to come here. But those are guys I'm talking about that you would like to see stick around for whomever the next coach is. And I don't know if you focus on them when you first get here, but I know that those are the guys that, Matt, they're right in front of these coaches when they come in.
And to the point in evaluating talent, so my 4 years in the portal's a little different. I would like to think your hit rate is a little bit better than high school. So if there's 25 scholarships, my 4 years up there at Arkansas, there was 18 kids that could play, and there was about 5 that you missed on every single year. Well, you get up there and you're like, oh, that kid got a scholar. He's you're going to keep trying. But you miss on a couple kids, and maybe we missed on Ewing. We missed on Graham a couple years. I don't know. Maybe he gets for whatever reason, he gets it going. But I think the portal rate, so what is, what 25, 18, what's that, like 15%? Something about that is you're going to miss on about that much. I think the portal rate, I think your room for error is less because I think you hit on more of those guys because you've seen them against different
you've got college tape.
I've seen you in the ACC go out there and average 7 boards a game. Well, then surely that's better than the 5A West, playing Bentonville Harbor.
What about a coach that's bringing some players like Cignetti did at Indiana? And you would think, I don't know what kind of a hit rate there would be on that, but
well, that's to the point too. When a coach comes in, you're evaluating your own talent. I bet you he hit on most of those guys. I bet you a lot of times whoever James Franklin brings with him, I bet a lot of those guys are playing. I mean, because you've seen them around, and this is coaches in the NFL when you're like, whenever a team that you're with signs you to a big time extension. That's because they see you every day in practice. They know you're a baller. You see some guys, they go to a different team. It's kind of because they don't believe in them that much. They see them every single day. You see those guys sign with that same team. That's, hey, we know what we got with that guy. We can't let him get away. Like Polamalu, when he signed that big, there was no way Pittsburgh was letting him go.
877-377-6963 to get with us on this or any other conversation. That is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. And John's in Little Rock. Hi, John. What's going on?
Hey, I was going to piggyback off that call. And look, I can appreciate the fact that they seem to be holding it together and not giving up. What irritates me or frustrates me more than anything that I can put into words is the fact that it is the same mistakes week in and week out that are leading to the same results. And at some point you question how they can be making the same mistakes every week. Is it that coach isn't getting through to them? Is it that at some point they decide they're not going to listen to the coaching and go off on their own? Is it, the last game,
this many games in, a receiver shouldn't be breaking off a route, right? It's just, that's what frustrates me. And that's what makes me wonder about Petrino's, probability as being a head coach, his capability of, offensive mind, fine. The fact that they haven't let go of the rope, fine. But when they're doing the same thing week in and week out, you start to question, why is that? Why is that not getting through? And that's just my point to counter the, I'm not a Petrino fan. I don't think he should be the coach for many other reasons. But, he's continued the one possession loss that Pittman was carrying on. So I don't know where that leaves us.
John, it's good to hear you. Thank you for that phone call and that idea. And yeah, you do see some of those. I think that if I think of what defines, outside of missed tackles and sometimes rough coverage defensively, turnovers on the offensive side, and some of those interceptions, they're not just physical mistakes; those are mental mistakes. That's what he's hitting on there. And a lot of the 10 interceptions for Taylor Green. They're on his record, but some of them also has to go on a little miscommunication. And if it's miscommunication after 8 or 9 games, and that's the same mistakes. So where do you put it on at that point? You put it on the players? You put it on the coach?
I think you put it on both. I mean, I don't really like to blame one area. I think it's you also look at lack of experience, they're playing in a new system. All these wide receivers are in a new system, and it's an option route system that is complex. And and if you go back and you look at the year where they were learning with Jarius Wright, Joe Adams, those young wide receivers, same type things were happening to Casey Dick. And a lot of us blame Casey Dick, but Petrino said at the time, there's guys that are running the wrong routes. They read the option coverage, and what they're running is a triple option passing game where the defender presents a coverage, and at the snap it changes, and the receivers and the quarterbacks have to read it, and that's the frustrating part. And the more you're in it, the better the reads are all, exactly the same. But I'm talking about the quarterback and the receivers. So I understand some of the mistakes. I'm not condoning them or accepting them, but that's why that you see that in this system. And it's constant flux with, would you be better off in a less complex system? Maybe you would.
Maybe it's an idea, and it's true. I mean, if you're making the same mistakes and the coaches keep preaching on however it is that you're coaching your offense, your plays, I think the same thing when it comes to baseball. It's like, well, the coaches aren't out there trying to tell him, you know what, you need to be striking out and swinging at high pitches all the time. Sometimes it just comes down to the idea that an athlete might not be as good as the coach or the athlete wanted him to be. Yeah, that may end up being it. But we're right up against a break. We got a break here. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and we'll back to wrap up hour number 2 in a moment.
Oh, the crowd was awesome. I know the players were very, very appreciative, all 4 quarters, at the energy that they brought.
This is halftime.
It's time to hit the trails in style. Wheeler Powersports has a huge selection of brand new side-by-sides and ATVs ready to roll. The 2026 Polaris Ranger Crew XP1000 Northstar Premium, 2026 Polaris Sportsmans, and a whole lot more. We have the largest pre-owned selection in Fort Smith. While you're here, toss a few cornhole bags with our sales team. You could win money off of these incredible machines. So don't wait. Get to Wheeler Powersports, where the fun begins off the road. Wheeler Powersports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
November 9th, opening day of modern gun season, and Jelco Outdoors has all your deer hunting equipment ready for you. Jelco has a great selection of rifles, scopes, and lots of ammo. Stay warm and dry in the largest selection of boots and clothing for men, women, and children. Tree stands, saddles, box blinds, and ground blinds. Jelco can fix you up. Don't forget the blaze orange caps and vests. Good luck and safe hunting to all deer hunters from your locally owned one-stop shop for the best deer hunting equipment. equipment. Shelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, Razorback fans, basketball season is here, and it's also movie season. The perfect time to level up your living room at Sofa City. Check out their immersive home entertainment furniture, top grain leather, zero gravity power recliners with power headsets, lumbar support, heat, air massage, surround sound, and even optional vibration. You won't just watch the game, you'll feel every buzzer beater and 98. That's a full living room set plus a recliner at an incredible price. At Sofa City, it's all in stock, so you can buy it today and enjoy it tonight. With financing options available for every budget. And you'll love their no-pressure showroom. Just friendly folks ready to help you find your comfort zone. So whether it's watching the Hogs or a movie night at home, don't just watch it, experience it. Visit Sofa City in Fort Smith, Russellville, Harrison, and Mountain Home. And see more Black Friday savings at sofacityusa.com.
It's time for the annual 5K Mercy Turkey Run. Join us Thanksgiving morning, Thursday, November 27th, and start your holiday off on the right foot. Every participant receives a medal and t-shirt, and winners take home the pie. Don't forget about the individual and group costume contest. Make sure to register before Wednesday, November 26th at noon to join the fun. Mercy Turkey Run is proudly presented by Cherokee Casino and Hotel and Ware Construction. Bring your family and friends to Do It for the Pie. Register today at mercyhealthfoundation.net/turkey run.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
It's the Black Friday sales event. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. Hard to believe Thanksgiving is already here. Troy, these 25s have to go. You're slowly getting new 26s. We got to get the 25s out of here so they can make way for 26 models.
Yes, definitely. You know, Tommy, our loss is your gain. So come and see us. We have to move this inventory. Not, hey, we'd like to make you a good deal, but we got to get rid of these things. So come and see us at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. We're going to make you an awesome deal. And the big thing is right now is the special financing, man. You know, we talk about this for so long. People weren't buying because they were saying interest rates were so high. Man, we got 0% interest for 60 months on new F-150s. I mean, we've got 72 months at 3.9%. I mean, the deals are insane. Come and see us at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. We're going to get you the best deal on a new or pre-owned vehicle.
0% financing available during the Black Friday sales event. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Rumors spread around. You like to take the time. Right this back outside the game. And you know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that whole mile on the range. They got a lot of nice girls.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, I want to take a quick phone call from Juwan in Fayetteville on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Juwan, always good to hear from you. What's up?
How y'all doing today, fellas?
We are great, thank you.
Yeah, I was just wanting to chime in on some of this transfer portal conversation. I think it's all about how you spend your money in the portal. I don't want to go after a running back. I feel like we can find a running back in any conference in America. Like right now, Ahmad Hardy from Missouri, he's clearly the best running back in the SEC to me. That was a guy they picked up from Louisiana Monroe. I think Arkansas's problem is if we get $30 million in the future, we need to take at least 4 and try to find us a quarterback. I can't help but see and say we would be a much better team with John Mateer being our quarterback. He's clearly worth the money, and he's helped Oklahoma elevate their game from last year when they had no clear quarterback. Now, if they win a couple more games, they might have a chance of getting the playoff if some people lose. The next thing I would go after is some edge rushers and defensive backs. I wouldn't get caught up in the glam of a wide receiver. We found wide receivers in the portal that are actually working out pretty well. So I just think we need to reallocate our funds into a different place instead of trying to compete with everybody.
Juwan, it sounds like you got somebody behind you who's kind of tired on Arkansas football. Would appreciate.
My baby girl, she's tired of dressing up as a cheerleader and losing. She's sad every Saturday. Hey, appreciate you, fellas.
It's good to hear from you, man. It's kind of great when the background fits the conversation sometimes, right?
Juwan always speaks the truth.
He always speaks the truth, but the crying also spoke a little bit of truth too, didn't it?
Frustration.
Oh, man. Good to hear from you, Juwan. All right, we'll have our third hour of halftime coming up in a moment. Hall of Famer Clay Henry is with us. Of course, we've got Matt Jones, the one and only C Unit, who has been assigned Eddie Murphy Delirious for the weekend. I told him put on some adult diapers just in case. You never quite know. Or just don't drink anything and lead up to the show. All right, we're coming to the third hour of halftime. Brett Dolan joining us in about 20 minutes. We'll be right back.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your holiday with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. For your inner child and your grown-up cravings, the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of seeing showers, a chance of thunderstorms or high temperatures this afternoon, upper 60s to lower 70s. Now, the chance of showers and storms tonight, the overnight low will dip down to right around 60 degrees and a 50-50 chance of showers on Friday. A high will be in the low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You know what's great about video? It does not lie.
ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, our final hour of the show, 101 in the afternoon. We'll have Brett Dolan from Touchdown Radio coming up in about 15 minutes. Otherwise, it is me, Phil Elson, he, Matt Jones, he, Christian Johnston, and the one and only Hall of Famer and Emmy Award winner, Fisherman Clay Henry, joining us as well today on halftime. And so I saw this pop up a moment ago, guys, that along with James Franklin, who was introduced yesterday as the Virginia Tech head coach. Now today, the guy that was the general manager at Penn State and the chief of staff, Andy Frank and Kevin Threakle, have also joined Franklin at Virginia Tech. And then there are 7 other staffers who have left the Penn State football program. They haven't, you don't know necessarily if they're going to Virginia Tech or not, but chances are they probably are. And the positions that have left is external operations, director of recruiting content. That tells me that's social media, strictly. And then there were 4 associate directors of player development and revenue sharing strategy that are leaving. That's an interesting title for a football staffer. But, not just one, not just 2. I counted one more. There are 3 of them that have that position that are joining him at Virginia Tech. And that's another aspect of, I don't know, like whatever it is that you're going to be bringing in as the next head coach, it's not just the players. It isn't even just, the coordinators that he's thinking of. It's people like this.
It's a system.
Yeah, it's like a whole system of
trust. Used to, what did they bring, Clay? They used to bring their strength and conditioning coach, right?
That's it.
And now it's it's the social media.
You inherit everybody else.
The social media strategist for recruiting, which also shows the importance of this. I can't, otherwise you're gonna, I don't know whether they're getting any raises or whatnot.
Is he a graphic designer? Probably.
If you're a director of recruiting content,
That's what you are.
Yeah, content usually is now social media. They didn't throw the word creative in front of them.
He's got some talents.
But that's what goes along with it now. That's right. Used to be you'd have. And the strength coach probably still goes with you, because is that the number one lieutenant in your mind?
Well, used to, and Clay probably can shine a little more light on this. Used to, it was Dow Loggins and it was Don Decker out there at summer camp. It wasn't the coaches. Now I think the coaches get a little more hands-on, but you were trusting. You had to have a great relationship with your strength and conditioning coach.
I mean, it's like you would think that'd be the number one guy you'd want to hire. It seems like at one point, maybe as Coach Broyles told me this, that when you sit down with the prospects of hiring a coach, the questions that you would ask, okay, who's your offensive coordinator? Who's your defensive coordinator? Who's your offensive line coach? And then after that, you would say, who's your strength coach? Can you accept our strength coach? Because sometimes they stayed. They might be a lifer. Like John Stuckey. Now, eventually he did leave. He went to Tennessee. But those are the questions that you're asking right now. It's like in the head coach, the prospective head coach is like, okay, can I bring this 17 guys? and it's like, and none of them are coaches. They're all behind the scenes guys. And I made up that number 17. It might be larger than that. It's certainly not 1 or 2 or 3.
Well, speaking of whomever the next coach is going to be, I just pulled up Bet Online, because you can't, those it's the offshore betting houses that have odds on who's going to be the coach. And I saw 3 schools that are listed here on Bet Online, One of them was Oklahoma State, Arkansas the other. LSU was up as well. And then as I'm about to bring it up, the LSU odds just vanished. They're gone. They've taken them right off. But they do have Oklahoma State and Arkansas. And the favorite on this is Silverfield, plus 100. Alex Golesh, plus 200. Golesh is the favorite for Oklahoma State to the point where he's in minus territory. John Gruden is the third favorite on BetOnline to be the Arkansas football coach. At
That's bizarre.
Plus
That's just
500.
bizarre.
That's ahead of Petrino. He's plus 1,000. Then it's Eric Morris and John Summerall after him. That is wild to see those odds placed on John Gruden. I want to know what kind of information they have.
So, but that's not necessarily has to do with any information. It has to do with knowing the betting public will bet on him.
Yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't have anything to do with
Doesn't have anything
information
to do
on
with
in the
information.
team.
It is, and as I bounce around town or around different parts of the state, went to deer camp 2 weeks ago, and I will always hear Gruden. It's like, yeah, maybe we can get Gruden. What? Why would you say that? Well, he's really good in front of the camera. He'd win the press conference. It's like he's going to do so many positive things for public perception of the program because he's high profile. Well, do you think he'll be a good coach? Well, I don't know about that, but that's who I want. So that's why the odds are the way they are.
I just can't. I honestly can't see it. But there are people that are on social media that are that portray themselves as insiders that guarantee that's what's happening here. That is going to be
that's part of it.
That's the guy. But that's all. That's exactly right. That's part of this whole process. That's the whole point of
perception becomes reality.
Yeah, and as long as it keeps getting repeated, it still sounds like it could become reality. But I would say this, like Matt, out of all of the candidates, that's the one that I take the least seriously.
It's they
and we all may be surprised.
Yeah. Well, they're making money off of that, and I think it's name recognition.
That's what it is.
I think
yeah.
people, but I don't think it's just been the common theme for the last 3-4 years that a job comes up and everybody's like, well, John Gruden. And my whole thing is if he doesn't take a job in this coaching cycle right here, he's not coaching again. That's
because that means nobody came to him.
I don't think so. I don't think John Gruden's coaching again. I really don't. I think he's happy doing what he's doing. He works for Barstool Sports, makes a lot of money. In that charisma, that attitude, his personality's perfect. He made a lot of money doing Monday Night Football. He had a lot of money doing the quarterback. So, and you don't get into coaching for money, but I just don't see him kind of like Jay Wright with basketball. Like Jay Wright, if by now he's not getting back in, I just don't think he gets
right. But
back
I would
in.
also say, you know what? If Jay Wright wants to get back in, go get him.
That's true.
You say that about John Gruden right now?
Well, how serious is he though? Do you think that's what I mean? Does John want to coach again, or does he just something he
sounds like a good idea and sounds like he could always be? I always wanted to get back into coaching, but they never let me back in. Why not? It's a nice way to portray yourself.
Well, I mean, if he's sitting there and he's looking and he sees how much money they're giving Bill Belichick at North Carolina, well, why don't I do that? But to me that's bizarre, but Gruden's bizarre too.
Well, it felt bizarre when Prime was hired at Colorado, but that also just seems much more realistic than Gruden at Arkansas, I think. And you're right. But that's the other thing about Prime, like that's flash.
He was coaching college.
Cameras. You're exactly right. He was coaching college, and had done well at Jackson State. It's just the idea of going from the SWAC to Power 4 to the Big 10 to the Big 12, felt like it might be a bit of a stretch. And outside of this is the first year after Travis Hunter and Shedeur are gone, they're not very good. The athletic director just stepped down. So, they had their 2 years of flash. Prime's finding a lot of trouble being able to replicate any of that.
Hadn't talked about Colorado one single time this year.
Not at all. Not at all. And is that the kind of, I don't know exactly what the contract is, but they're paying him a lot. There's going to be a big buyout that goes along with that, too. So they may end up being stuck with him for a moment where, I don't know, is he really a program builder? He hasn't shown himself to be.
Well, he had his something where he has to wear a bag. He has blood clots. He's got one
toes
of his
removed,
foot amputated. Yeah, I just don't think he coaches again.
877.
And you might argue that he's not coaching now.
63.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stations. Sue in Hot Springs Village is bringing this up. That there's some who say that Arkansas has signed their coach. It's a done deal, and they're just waiting to announce it either next week or after the Missouri game. Now, I want to believe that you're going to have your coach, and you get the choice of who you wanted, and that it's ready to go right after the Missouri game.
You know, so I would. Here's what I'd say: let's go for it right this freaking second, because we're not going to a bowl game. Let's go. Let's. There's no. So we fired one coach after week 4, week 5. I would agree with you that if we still had a chance to go to a bowl game, let's wait. The season's over. There's 2 more games. If we got our guy, let's go. Who's
yeah?
The
then
guy?
What are you waiting on?
Let's go.
I tell you what they're waiting on. They're waiting on to make sure that Bobby doesn't go to Austin and win 35-7, and then bring Missouri in next weekend and beat them 31-10.
Those would be called extenuating circumstances.
Well, then everything changes. That's why they haven't announced it.
We've had a couple texters in, Clay. I don't know if you see the text line.
No, I don't.
So we've had a couple different texters the last couple of days. And does KJ Jackson, do you see the backup quarterback play at all? Because to my other point, we're not going bowling. You want to see what you can do and be evaluated. Do you see the backup quarterback play at all?
Well, here's the catch-22. That might be a good way to go. I'm not going to argue against it. I'm not going to say if I was the coach, I wouldn't do it. But if you're trying to win the job, and that's what Bobby is, make no mistake about it, he wants to be the head coach. Until it's over, until he doesn't think there's any way for him to be the coach, he is going to play the guy that he thinks has the best chance to get him there. And he obviously thinks it's Taylen Green. If he was going to be the coach next year, then I think it would be totally different in that he would likely play that guy, because you're right, they're not going to a bowl game. There's nothing in it other than develop the team for next year. But he's still trying to win a job. And it might not be just at Arkansas. It might be somewhere else. And, well, maybe he wins one of the 2. And maybe that's enough that, somebody in a faraway place in a less of a league than the SEC decides you can be our coach. So there's still things that would preclude him from saying, I'm going to get this guy ready for next year.
Hey, your Razorback closet needs an upgrade. Go to Rowback.com. Check out the University of Arkansas Game Day collection. That's what you're looking for. All the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips just for Razorback fans. 20% off your first order. Use the code RUSH25 at checkout to get that discount. RHOBACK.com. Rowback, where action meets comfort. Brett Dolan will join us right after this break. It's halftime.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-37.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Go all in on luxury
luxury with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 box, indulgent. The $7 box, extravagant. And the $9 box, indescribable with the new Steak and Poblano Rolled Quesadilla. It's Lux. For less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
On our Lewis Automotive Group hotline right now, Brett Dolan, play-by-play Touchdown Radio, Razorback Sports, Perfect Game, works at MLB. Usually where in the world is Brett Dolan, but we know where he is today because there's Arkansas Little Rock women's basketball at Bud Walton Arena. And Brett, I'm just assuming you're on the call.
I am. Well, game 2 of 3 this week, so it's a busy one, as you well know.
What are the chances I can get you to switch seats with me just for this game? We don't have to do it for any other. But just get me courtside for one game. You can sit about 10 rows back. Are you all right with that?
Let's do it. I mean, I'll put you with Coach Z. You know that's an experience, so let's make that work.
That sounds good. I'm solo tonight. You all right doing a solo radio telecast of some sort?
For sure. Now you're throwing in the extra aspects. All right, why not? We'll do it.
They don't pay you any extra if you don't have a color analyst with you either. I just tell you that for sure. So you're done with Touchdown Radio until the Texas Bowl, correct?
That is correct.
All right. You had Ohio State and UCLA last week. Man, Ohio State's just rolling roughshod over everybody. Tell us what you saw last week at the Horseshoe.
You know, it's interesting because Nico Iamaleava was ruled out because of a concussion on Friday night, and he was the guy that we had in the big upset of UCLA over Penn State when he had 5 touchdowns, and we were hopeful that he would have some type of theatrics to make this game close, and he didn't play, and it was not close. Ohio State is a machine, and I was anxious to see them and have been for a few weeks just to kind of compare them to some of the other teams, especially Georgia that I had a couple of times this season. But the talent level is pretty amazing, but how Ryan Day gets those 4 and 5 stars to kind of play a role, so to speak, and maybe split some minutes or reps, pretty impressive. And I know it's almost a completely different defense than they had a year ago, but it might even be better. So it's going to be a fun team to watch.
Brett, I love college football. I love the theatrics. I love everything about it. Last week, Oklahoma played. They don't play their best game, but they kind of, I don't know if you want to say Alabama gave it away, but hey, Oklahoma did enough to win. Oklahoma has Missouri this week. Could you see a little letdown, or do you think Oklahoma's past the hump and they'll be all right?
I kind of think they're past the hump only because Mizzou's had some issues, as we've talked about with quarterbacking. I think what's unique, Matt, in that game, and I think how you explained it's a good way, because the total yards was somewhere in the area of, 230-ish for Oklahoma off the top of my head. And you would probably think that number's not anywhere close to being able to have a chance to go in and beat Alabama. But when you have a good defense, you make some plays, you make some big efforts both defensively and offensively, you can win games. And it's been the formula that they have operated on. And I think when you get caught up in the numbers, you tend to look past them a bit. But when you look at the overall body of work, they just kind of keep finding ways to get the job done.
And then another one, I think it's the biggest game of the week. USC got past your Iowa Hawkeyes last week, and now they take on an Oregon team where if USC beats Oregon, I think they're in. They could cause a little shakeup in the playoff 12. Do they have a chance? They got to go to Eugene. How do you kind of see that game unfolding?
I think they've got a chance. I mean, they were down 21-7 last week, 14-0 at USC, and came back to win. Now, the odds makers seem to believe it's a prohibitive Oregon favorite. I think it's a double-digit line right now. The problem with Oregon is they haven't had overwhelming wins, so I think we're still a little bit curious what they look like. They lost, obviously, at home to Indiana. Their win at Penn State does not carry as much weight anymore, at least I think for some. USC has an incredible wide receiver, a very good quarterback, and the running game isn't bad. I do think they've got a chance. USC did not play well at home the last couple of weeks as far as maybe just finding ways to win by 15 or 20 points. I think they can keep it fairly close. I still think Oregon's probably got a little better talent, but the Ducks need some healthy receivers and skill players. They've been a little bit lean where USC has been pretty good.
A couple of days ago, Bill King prognosticated a Ohio State-Georgia national championship game. You've seen both of these teams up close. Are they the best 2 teams in the country right now?
Best 2 teams I've seen, and I probably wouldn't argue if you wanted to say that. And I think for similar reasons. In this era of the portal, we talk about going out every year and adding to your roster or flushing it and bringing in talented players and older players. What these 2 teams do and these 2 programs is they still get the best 4 and 5 star players in the country for the most part. I mean, they're part of probably 2 or 5 or 2 of 6 teams that can do that. So these kids are good enough to get on the field when they're freshmen and sophomores. They can develop them. They can still get in the portal and add when they need to. I think they've been able to kind of have a formula that worked before the chaos, and it still continues to work after. And there's no shortage of dollars for either to be able to retain or augment talent when they need to do so. But I think the skill players for Georgia have been pretty good. I think the skill players for Ohio State are a little bit better. But I think the one thing that they both do is convince players to, maybe play 30 reps instead of 50 or 60 and to kind of share a little bit of the wealth of opportunity when it comes to being on the field. But for me, I think they are clearly the 2 best teams I've seen in person.
Hey, what's your initial reaction or your gut feeling? I think Lane Kiffin would be a perfect coach at LSU. Do you think he stays at Ole Miss? Do you think he's just trying to get more money out of? I mean, I kind of, the longer it goes, I kind of think he's going to go to LSU. How do you kind of see that right now?
You know, I was chatting with a few people that are at least in the orbit of Lane this week, Matt, and I think I was with you. I kind of expected him to stay. I think he's got a pretty good situation. Obviously, the tough part is if you leave, you might have to kind of almost jump ship on your current team at some point in the postseason, which is really hard to do. I do feel like the longer this lingers, at least there has to be some interest. And, you know, Lane's making enough money. I don't know if it's that. Maybe he's trying to get a few more millions into his pool of available money to pay and retain players himself going forward. I'm curious, though, again, because I think we're getting to that point, whether there's an ultimatum or not. I think Ole Miss really would like an answer or like some direction on where their program is going. To me, with the chaos surrounding LSU and the governor and the athletic directors and whatnot, that would be a big enough red flag for me to stay at Ole Miss. And I don't know if Florida or LSU, at least right now, is a better job. Maybe it would be in 2 or 3 years, but I still think he's going to stay. But I'm a little more curious than I was, say, a month ago.
Drinkowicz, I think he goes. Do you think he's a better fit at Florida or Penn State?
Well, I would probably say Florida because he's been in this league now a couple of years, and I think what he did at Mizzou is pretty impressive. I don't think that's an easy place to be able to put up 9, 10-ish wins. I really would have loved to have seen what would have happened this year had Purbuella not been hurt, or even their quarterback that got hurt in week 1 who was going to split some of the reps. I think Eli is probably deserving of an opportunity. I always find it a little bit tough to jump within a league, whether that would be Lane or Eli, to go within the same conference, but it's not as unheard of as it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago. So I think he would probably take an opportunity because I do think there is a decided difference between the programs of Florida or LSU than there is Mizzou, where I don't know if there's that big of a difference between, say, Ole Miss and LSU right now.
All right, Brett Dolan has called about 2 handfuls of college football games. That includes 1 Arkansas game. We are going to introduce the inaugural Brett Dolan Football Awards just for teams that you've seen and called, all right? That's all it is. Best player you've seen this year.
Jeremiah Smith, and I only got to see him for half last week. He's a man among boys as a sophomore wide receiver for Ohio State. I think he was last year. It's crazy to think he'll have to come back one more year and play for Ohio State. He made it a one-handed catch in the first drive last week where it was like I was throwing you a grapefruit or an orange, and you just reached out and speared it, no problem. Physically incredibly gifted. I think he's probably the best. Gunnar Stockton and Julian Sain have been really good when I've seen them. But I think when you project not just college but NFL, I think Smith is probably the most exciting.
All right, look on the other side of the ball. Who's the best defensive player you've seen?
I really like C.J. Allen with Georgia, but Caleb Downs, and again, I don't think I saw him at full go last week. The safety for Ohio State, the man who transferred from Alabama. I think it was the first or second play of the game. There was a screen pass, and he made a tackle for a 3-yard loss. And I'm like, that is the safety. He came up and made a tackle for a 3-yard loss, and he started 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. I know that he's highly thought of. I don't think either one of those guys are unknowns to the NFL. I think both would be incredibly high picks if they were both available to go this year. But sometimes when you see athleticism that pops on teams that are full of athleticism, it does at least get my attention.
Okay, now tell us the stadiums you've called games in and what's been the best crowd.
Ooh. You know, the funny thing is Auburn, for some of the big games, is always a different level of outdoor nightclub, and we had the Georgia game, and that was at night. We had Ole Miss for LSU, which was pretty darn good. I felt like Ohio State was as loud as I've heard them, and that was for a nothing game last week against UCLA. So, I mean, Auburn to me is always the loudest, and it might be because they have the loudest speakers. But Ohio State was pretty good, even for a night game against a team that they were going to pummel. That was pretty impressive.
Okay, last thing, and it'll be the next football game you got. Texas Bowl. I don't remember the date. It's usually what? New Year's Eve. We need to know who you think you're going to be watching in the Texas Bowl. Everybody needs to know prognostications on the 6-6 bowl game.
Boy, and when I look at these projections on a regular basis, and I have it in the last 4 or 5 days with all these darn basketball games we are getting. I hope that, last year we had Baylor and LSU, which was kind of fun, a Big 12 SEC matchup. Usually that fits. I really don't want to see a 6-ish win, a team like TCU or others. I'm hoping we can get a little higher tier, but the way LSU is trending, that might be a team we get again. I hope not, but I wish I had a better guess for you right now. Give me one more week, Phil. I think we'll have a pretty good idea, but I would imagine it'll be a 7 or 8 win Big 12 SEC type matchup.
All right, well, we'll wait until December because Thanksgiving's next Thursday. We got no show, so we'll just get your prognostication in December. How's that?
We'll do it.
All right, sounds good. Brett, see you at Bud Walton tonight. Thanks for your time.
Bring your suit coat if you're going to TV.
Oops. Did forget that thing at home. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We are back in a moment for the home stretch of halftime.
You think you can dress up like me and be a rock star? No, sir. No, sir. You have no idea what it takes.
This is halftime.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp.com/score for 10% off your first month. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp.com/score for 10% off your first month.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Hey everybody, Zachary Hall here, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. If you have not stopped by the Jam Mart in Fort Smith on Phoenix Avenue, you're missing out. They have a brand new hot case in there. They serve breakfast, they serve lunch, they serve dinner. My personal favorite is the chicken strips and potato wedges. They also serve cheeseburgers as well. They have all sorts of options that you don't want to miss. Be sure to stop by and see your local Jam Mart, Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith today. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in Arkansas.
Fill her up, please.
Mustard or ketchup?
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshield, and slick road quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Ted McAvoy and Van Buren. Are you an electrician that's looking for a smaller, non-corporate job? Well, I'm here in studio with Sloan Walker of Sloan Electric, starting 40, 45 hours a week, anywhere from $20 to $28 an hour, depending on the experience.
Yeah, that's all correct. We offer competitive pay. We have 6 paid major holidays. I'm working on some other benefits to go with those for my current employees and future employees. Best way to get in contact with me is just give me a phone call or text at 479-461-4302. Sloan Electric. We can power up together.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at ServiceMasterPC.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You swear you had enough. You're ready to give up on that little lie they call love. Then out of the blue clear sky, right into your hand. That rain on the desert sand, it's the last thing you had planned. Then out of the blue clear sky.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry with this as well. Guys, I was reading yesterday's story on ESPN, and Tom Mars, Little Rock attorney, who's kind of nationally now when it comes to college sports, had pointed out that there's a stipulation in Lane Kiffin's contract that he has to provide notice to the athletic director in writing that he is being approached by other jobs or is going to talk to other schools about other jobs. Otherwise, they don't have to let him coach. I think they can step in at that point and say, you know what, you can't coach right now. I don't know if he's done that or not. So that was one aspect of this. And another thing about this Kiffin thing, it just hit me when we were talking to Brett, Matt. There's a little bit of an element of this that reminds me of Schlossnagel with A&M over to Texas.
Yeah, it does.
Because I was like, I don't think he got questions about that in the regular season, but after Texas fired Pierce, he got questions about that throughout the rest of the tournament. And it's a bit of the same situation. He took A&M baseball to a place where they'd never been. There's this behemoth, blue blood, logo school that's calling his name in the same conference, a hated rival, and it was too much for him to say no to. And I mean, that to me is a little bit of the way that I view this thing with him and LSU. It's a bigger. Does
that 19-year-old kid that was starting go with him? Because the best
Simmons,
blessing,
the quarterback,
the best blessing Lane Kiffin had this year was him hurting his ankle and starting that fifth-year guy that's been playing a lot, because that dude they're just different guys. He might not be as athletic, and I equate it just like this. Look at our two freshman guards at Arkansas that are going to go play in the NBA. Nobody on that Watford team is going to go play in the NBA, but they've had 5 college off seasons. You know what I mean? Like that goes a long way. When you're 23 years old, you're in a way better physical shape than you are than when you're 18 years old.
And the difference is, remember, with Schlossnagel, I think he tried to get some of those guys to join him on Texas. I don't think a single one did.
So it shows you how liked James Franklin is. Half the staff's going with him to Virginia Tech because they believe in him. They like that dude. That tells you a lot about his character and about his person, about who he is. What did you just say? He's bringing 9 people from his staff from Penn State.
And that doesn't even count any of the high school recruits that might have been committed to Penn State and aren't now.
Tells you a little bit about his character.
Yeah, part of it also is those guys know that the next guy may not keep them. So you go where you're.
But they put Penn State on the. It's not that they can't get another job because they work at Penn State.
They do, yeah. But they know what they're going to get on a consistent basis with their boss.
It's like, you imagine what it, because I think, I don't forget it, this last season, if Texas visited A&M for baseball, I think it was the other way around. So this year, they'll go play them in College Station, I think. And that will be like appointment television for college baseball fans.
Yeah,
just
he doesn't need to worry about He doesn't need to worry about the bubble machine.
I don't know if Ole Miss and LSU
They're
are on
gonna be
that.
booing him.
Yeah, exactly. They'll put something else in those bubble machines. I don't know if Ole Miss and LSU play next year, but you can imagine what that would be like if Kiffin were to walk into that stadium.
I thought they were rivals. I thought Ole Miss
I don't remember
LSU
if
was
they're
a rival.
It is.
Hey, it won't be any different than him
Right.
walking in at
Into Tennessee. Yep.
where they threw mustard bottles at him.
He would be the most despised man by two fan bases in this conference, and he coached for both of them. It's exactly what it would be like.
Yeah, and then in 4 years, when the Alabama job comes open, he goes there.
Because that's always the one everyone's sitting on.
That's the one everybody thinks he's sitting on.
Well, that's what's pointed to was that, well, he's not going to take the LSU job because he's waiting on Alabama. But Alabama ain't open right now. Is it going to be open anytime soon? I guess if they miss a
Still hasn't
playoff.
lost a home game. He's fine.
He's fine for now.
He's fine for now.
See what happens in the Iron Bowl.
That's what I say. It's like Auburn can change that.
The Iron Bowl's a Jordan Hare this year too, Matt.
Hey, Auburn's defense, I like a couple of their defensive guys.
Oh,
No
yeah.
question about it. I don't think they have enough offense, though. Like, it would have to be one of those games where it'd have to be like a 19-17 type
A little
game.
rain,
Yeah.
something happens, where it gets a little nasty.
That also reminds me, wasn't Texas baseball number 1 to start the season? And they
Texas football number 1?
wasn't Texas football number 1 too to start the season?
Biggest bummer, biggest letdown of the entire of a team that should have had a parachute because gravity just. It's like, what's he looking for on the floor? That's Texas football.
Yeah, breaks my heart.
Oh, we even have allowed you to do your Texas routine in the last couple of days, Clay. I feel like we got a few minutes here for it.
You mean I have to do it on demand?
No, not really. We got to get.
I can just. I throw it in when I think it's appropriate. But I mean, if there's two little bits that I'll do. One is if Darrell Royal Memorial Stadium is on fire, and I'm in the neighborhood, I throw gasoline on it.
You just have to go to the local gas station and
Yeah.
find that. Yeah, that's the next one.
Local petrol
Make
station.
it burn brighter.
Austin's got an international feel. They probably call it a petrol station there.
Yeah, and then, of course, does my heart good when Texas football, Texas basketball, and Texas baseball suck.
That's great. See, it's on demand content.
I
right
can
then
do it
and
on
there.
demand.
Well, it's like asking a great comedian, "Go ahead, Mr. Comedian, tell me something funny. Tell me a joke."
Hey, funny man.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me a joke right now. Let's see your best. I hate Texas hits 1 through 10. Yeah, those are the ones I remember.
No, I can give it a little more vigor. I mean, if you wanted me to, but that's probably enough.
It's Texas week. We got to stay halfway humble. But we have 0 wins, so we can't gloat too much.
What's the crowd like there?
What
to be
what
honest.
a win if we could go down there and win.
What's it like playing in front of that crowd? Because I
Well,
never
we-
hear
we-
about that there. I hear about it in other places.
My
in this league.
sophomore year, we went down there. No, maybe it was my junior year. We went down there. We had a pretty good team. Texas was number 4 in the country. I think Chance Mock was their quarterback. And after that they started Vince Young and then went on their run. They set up. We whooped them. It was one of the. There's a handful of games each year that it's never in doubt. That was one of them. We did whatever we wanted to. We couldn't believe it, how soft they were. We were more physical than them. It was like they didn't want to be out there. But then the next game they put in Vince Young, and I think he lost like 1 game in his college career.
The way you describe that game is the way that I remember feeling watching them beat Texas in 2021. Like, hold on a moment. Who's favored in this game?
Yeah.
And who's coming into the SEC? Are you kidding me? They're getting ready for this.
Ahmad Carroll shut down Roy Williams, a first-round receiver out there. They had Cedric Benson, first-round running back. They had the names, and I forget they had a linebacker that played for the Chiefs for a decade that was an absolute stud. But they had the names. They had the guys.
I tell you, I also remember our good friend Nate Allen. He let somebody have it. We get to the parking garage and we're trying to figure out, okay, where do you get your credentials? They don't mail them; you have to pick them up. And that year, Texas decided that they would have credential pickup, and this didn't apply for any of the regulars, their beat writers, because they had season-long credentials. But we had to go to the Irwin Center and walk down a hallway, and we eventually found a room where you can pick up your credentials. And it was 103. Matt, you remember the heat of that day. It was brutal. And, I mean, Nate Allen was just covered in sweat, and we walked in there, and they didn't have his credential. We went all that trouble, and they didn't even have it. And so we have to make some calls and everything. They got him taken care of. But when they finally gave him his credential and he knew he was going to get in, he let him have it. And, I have never seen fire unleashed the way Nate gave it to that poor guy. And then I remember getting to the stadium, and I think we were walking through the bowels of the stadium, and we ran across, I think it was Tim Chaney. And Tim was covered in sweat. And I was like, "What's hot out on the field?" He goes, "Oh, it's hotter in the locker room. There's no air in the." Am I remembering that right? There was no air conditioner in that locker room?
It was hot. It was one of those games, Clay, where everybody had a sunburn after the game. It was that, yeah, with that one, and there was a game in Florida. I think Ron Zook was their coach. We kind of was mounting a little comeback. But you get done with the game, and if you didn't use sunscreen, it was brutal.
We got a remembrance from a guy in Harrison on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Did you hit the mascot with the football?
Well, I actually scored on that play, but the refs made us go back. So I always tell Darius Howard, "You're welcome," for giving him another touchdown to his thing. But so I flipped it behind. I knew that I couldn't throw it, so I just flipped it right behind my back. He didn't see it, and it popped him right in the face.
Mascots are not ready for behind the back passes.
Well, he should have been standing there.
Might be a little difficult to, see a football with a giant head sitting on your shoulders like that. Oh, man. And Derek said he fell in love with football because of the game that you're referring to in 2003.
Mark Pierce, Cedric Cobbs, George Wilson, Richard Smith. Who didn't make a play?
We hit some studs.
Yeah, it was one of those games where we were kind of clicking that game.
Did it feel different than any other win because it was Texas?
Yes, because Jerry Jones and Jim Lindsay were giving the pregame speech. The night before in the hotel, it's like, who are these? Oh,
what's the speech from Jerry Jones?
Jerry Jones and it really wasn't a speech. It's just more of, hey guys, let's go get. This is Arkansas Razorback. Let's go get Texas, that's it. If you're going to win one game, this is the game you're going to win. And this is what they're going to talk. That's still, there's a handful of games people talk to me about. That's one of them.
All right, we'll break here in a moment. Remember, it is No Shave November. You can go to arprostatecancer.org and learn all the ways that you can help raise funds for prostate cancer, all the facts as well. And here's a fact about prostate cancer that's important for you men to listen. 99% survival rate. But here's what it takes. You got to get tested. Early detection is the key. So log on to arprostatecancer.org, contact your physician, and get yourself tested. That's all month long. arprostatecancer.org and No Shave November. All right, back in a moment. We'll wrap up the show. This is Halftime.
We got to get some turnovers. As the young kids say, we haven't had a turnover in a minute.
This is Halftime.
Family owned and operated since 1950, Crabtree RV Center is proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 amazing years. From a small dealership on Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith to 17 acres located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, Arkansas, Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, and parts. Come celebrate 75 years with us and take advantage of spectacular savings all year long. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey drivers, got a reefer on the fritz or a trailer that needs some TLC? Roll into High Tech Truck Refrigeration Service in Van Buren, your one-stop, full-service semi-truck and trailer repair facility, proudly serving you for over 30 years. At High Tech Truck, they do it all: DOTs, preventative maintenance, structural repairs, and expert reefer service. Fast, reliable, and driver approved. Call High Tech Truck today at 479-474-2220. Keep your wheels and your freight moving. High Tech Truck, proud sponsors of Arkansas football.
Less than 2 seconds left on the clock and no timeouts, Peter. I don't know what they're going to do. Down 3 and way out of field goal range. Truly an unlucky state to be in.
This state has plenty of luck. Last year, 8 Arkansans each won $1 million off a lottery ticket.
State as in a state of being, not... Whoa, touchdown Razorbacks.
This is winning, folks. Every lottery ticket you buy in Arkansas helps fund college scholarships. You could be the next big winner. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp.com/score for 10% off your first month. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9-star rating from over 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp. Talk with real qualified therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit BetterHelp.com/score for 10% off your first month.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
I'll make you feel like you are the only man. Yeah, did not give you another everything that a woman possibly can. You know I did. Anytime I tell myself that what I think of it now, I want to show you, baby, that I want every time.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hey, you can hear that. You can hear in her voice how she doesn't want you to have some of her heart, but she's going to give it to you anyway. Matt, that's
Arkansas football.
That's Arkansas football for fans.
Good catch.
That's exactly by the time you get into spring ball next year.
Take another little piece of
That's
my
right.
heart.
By the time some are preaching hopium and some are preaching patience and everything in the summer, you'll be ready to involuntarily give your heart back, right?
Yeah. Quarterbacks at year 2 under Bobby P.
Well, year 2 under. I was going to look at some of Taylor's numbers and everything. And, his rushing has gotten better than last year. Passing in some cases against conference teams, though, the numbers are a little bit down against conference teams.
And I get Clay's point, and I agree 100% that if Bobby knew he was going to be the coach, he might go approach things. But still, KJ Jack, we're not making a bowl game. I would have a package for him, kind of like they did, Mississippi State did. They brought their backup quarterback in and give him 2 series in the middle of the second quarter. That doesn't mean you're not trying to win. It's just you're trying to see what you got.
So what you're advocating is exactly what Lou Holtz did in every game. He played his backup quarterback I think it would be
I did that.
third
If you
series.
think with Houston Nutt, that my first 2 years, it was kind of a 2 quarterback thing.
Yeah, and don't have to keep him out there long, but it's you don't know when that guy is your number one.
Wasn't that also an era?
Talk about Missouri, what they've been through this year.
I remember reading about this when Don Strock came in as the coach against Arkansas, and he was a closer quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, there was a different era of football where you would bring in another quarterback in the second half if you had the lead. Did Lou do it in that direction? I mean, that was the NFL strategy.
He played it early in the game. It would be the second or third series, sometimes to start the second quarter. And hey, if he got the ball at the 2-yard line, and that's when that quarterback's time was supposed to be, he would bring him in. And it was his way of making sure that you are always giving your second team reps in practice that he knew he was going to play in the game. So if you know you're going to play in the game, your practice is different. It just is. You're listening better. You're on point. And let's go back to, we talked about this in the break. We haven't gotten to it, but this would be perfect timing.
You have to be quick, though.
Yeah. So his first year, he benched Casey Dick and played Nathan Dick against Mississippi State. And then the next week against LSU, he brought Casey back.
Well,
so he's done it.
Maybe you see the same thing on Saturday now. Who knows?
Yeah, but he knew he was going to be the coach the next year.
That's a good point. Very good point. Clay, it was a great show. Enjoyed it. Thanks for joining. And we'll look forward to seeing you every next week, okay?
Maybe I'm better on Thursdays.
Thursday was great. This was a great Thursday. All right. For Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Elson, inviting you to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast and stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach. And then we'll do this all over again tomorrow on another edition of Halftime. Have a great rest of your Thursday.